came into my kids' playroom to be able to do this because I just need to rant, and the only way I can be able to do that is to be able to just not be upstairs with the rest of the family, because I'm really upset about something, and this happens to people on the spectrum, and it's a little frustrating. I got to be honest. We I've got 3 kids with autism, and I have autism, so it's a little bit difficult for me sometimes to go into situations as neurotypical and be able to handle the situations that need to be done, or know how to speak out, know how to figure out what words I need to say right when I need to say it. And so it can be, I can come out of it pretty frustrated lots of times. And we had a situation where my 7-year-old had to be tested for COVID, went in, and the nurse, he's wiggly, he has autism, it was uncomfortable, he didn't want to sit still, and it ended up where he got a really bad test. It wasn't, well, I don't know if it was accurate or not, but it wasn't well done, and the nurse said, well, it's as good as it's going to get. So I left frustrated, talked to the doctor. She's like, you know what, he's having a hard time breathing. Let's get a chest x-ray. Let's send him to the doctor. We go back to the ER. They say, let's get a chest x-ray. Let's get another COVID test. So they do that. And here he does have a viral infection in his chest. And they say, could be COVID, might not be COVID. We're not really sure. Do another COVID test. And the nurse, same one, we get the same one, came in and said, you gave me a hard time yesterday. You wouldn't sit still. Do you want to do it yourself? Yeah. Do you want to do it yourself? A 7-year-old with autism, administer your own COVID test. Okay, so the nurse gives it to him, and he sticks it up a little bit, and pulls it right out because he's sticking something up his nose. It's uncomfortable. And then the nurse does say, because that didn't go well, can I help you with the other side? So he puts it on the other side, kind of slides it up a little bit, and then Ricky pulls right away. He can't do it. He doesn't want it done. So pulls right out, and so then the nurse says, well, that's as good as we're going to get. So I am just really frustrated. And I said to him, well, I looked this up, and, 10 seconds on each side at least. And he's like, well, I don't think he has COVID anyway. Do I look like I am not intelligent? Do I look like you can talk to me like that? Does he look like you can act like this with him as well? Because I thought the whole experience was pretty rude, frustrating. And when all of his results came back, not the COVID test yet, but they were saying that he was sick. I mean, there was something definitely wrong. And so they sent us home and said, with COVID possible instructions, and quarantine until the tests come back. And they did come back negative. But my whole thing was, were they accurate? And I'm thrilled if they are, if it's accurate and he's negative, that's great. That means my other 2 can go back to school tomorrow. And after talking to the district, they can. So, I mean, that's great. But I just want to, I left there and I got madder today. So I called and I complained, and I talked to the manager, and she said, he let him administer it himself. Yeah, he did. Now, some people have said some things to me since that was like, gosh, why didn't I think to hold him down? Why didn't I think to help? Why, when I found out that all they need is a little bit of snot on the top, on it at all, and that's enough because they're super sensitive now. And I'm like, somebody said to me, well, then, if that's true, why don't they just let us blow our nose in a tissue or on a swab, and that be the test? I don't know. But what I do know is that I left there really frustrated, and I know that I didn't find all the words that I probably should have in order to do this. And I know that maybe I should have said, Ricky has autism and he's not able to take uncomfortable things very easily. He's not a typical 7-year-old, and let's help him with this. And I know I should have found the right words. I know that as I was leaving, and I still felt as if I hadn't been heard, I probably should have figured it out and worked it out through myself to be able to script it in my mind and be able to say what I needed to do before I left. But it is really, I'll tell you, I was really upset with myself. I was really upset with them, and maybe I'm making too much out of it, but when you're on the spectrum and you have found yourself in many similar situations where you leave the situation and you feel like you weren't heard, or that you didn't find the right words when you should have, it gets a bit much. And analyzing and re-going over everything, I should have handled it differently. And maybe somebody that's a neurotypical would have done the same thing I did. Maybe they wouldn't be able to, maybe they wouldn't have known exactly how to handle it themselves. Because, these are professionals, and we're supposed to trust that they know what they're doing. And I trust his doctor 100%. But these people, I don't know them. But a lot of what ifs have come my way, and a lot of what ifs have gone through my head. And I'm like, yeah, yep, I should have said that. I should have done this. I should have handled it this way, and I didn't. And there are so many times I get out of a situation and I leave going, yeah, yep, why didn't I say that before? Why didn't I think of that? Why wasn't I able to get across the way I wanted to? So there's that. It's just my rant, because I wanted an accurate reading. That's all that I wanted. And I know enough. I know enough that if you let a 7-year-old with autism administer their own COVID test, it might not come out accurately. I'm just saying.